much money do you really need to buy a home in Seattle, Washington? Oh, I almost don't want to tell you. Guys, it is true. The cost of living in Seattle has gotten really expensive in the last couple of years, but there are still affordable housing options if you need that, and really nice options if you can afford that. So in this video, we're going to talk about how much money you need to live in Seattle, Washington. Stay tuned. Okay, that was the hook. Cut to the cool living in Seattle bumper. And then we'll go into the call to action, like, subscribe, call us, and then into the meat and potatoes of the show. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't been to my channel before, I'm glad you're here. This is Emily Cressy. I'm a local real estate agent, and I have this channel going to help people who are moving and relocating to the Seattle area really get a feel for what it's like to live here, so they know kind of what they're getting into and if it's going to be a good fit. Ideally, my goal is to help them find the perfect home for them when they come, so that they enjoy their time living in Seattle and don't feel that their move to the Seattle, Washington area was a mistake or a problem, or just that they got in over their head, right? We want you to be happy. So if you haven't been here before, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff boosts my rating, which I really enjoy, but more importantly, it'll help you not miss any of the upcoming videos. We do a video every week. We preview a lot of neighborhoods, and I also answer your questions. So if you have a question or comment, please post it in the comments below. I read every one. I will reply to it, and it helps me know either answering your questions right there or getting new videos coming out to answer your questions more broadly in the future. So with no further ado, let's get started on the cost to live in the Seattle, Washington area. So the quick answer to the question of how much money you need to live in Seattle, Washington is basically this. You want to take a look at your total income. Let's say you make about $90,000 per year. Statistically speaking, the right amount to budget is about 1/3 of your income. $30,000 can go toward your housing expense. So if you look at that as a monthly check and you divide it by 3, that's where you want to keep your housing payment. So do that math in your head, find out what that number is for you. Let's say you made $9,000 a month. You could have a $3,000 housing payment. Now, when we're looking at rent, it's simple, right? You write a check to your landlord and that's your housing payment. When we're looking at buying a house, there are actually 4 things that we look at here. We call them PITI: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Principal and interest are what combine to make up your housing payment to the bank. This is your mortgage payment. And as we know, interest rates can vary over time. We've had a period of very low interest rates. We expect interest rates to return to more average levels, 6 or 7% interest rates. So depending on the interest rate, your monthly payment will fluctuate. But once you get a loan, you lock that in. The interest rate cannot change, and this principal and interest cannot change. That will be a fixed amount for the 30-year life cycle of your loan. Next, you have T, which is taxes. Property taxes can be pretty expensive here. If you have $1 million property, you can expect to pay about $1,000 per month in property taxes, although this does vary depending on if you're in the city of Seattle, the city of Renton. There are county taxes and local neighborhood taxes, so that will vary a little bit, but that's just a good rule of thumb. If you're in a $500,000 property, budget $500 a month. If you're in a condo, budget $2,000 or $3,000 a year. So let's take a look at the last one, which is insurance. This is the insurance that you pay for your building. Now, if you're in a condo, which is our most affordable type of housing, you will find that your HOA, your homeowner's insurance policy, will also insure a lot of the building. So everyone hates those HOA dues, but they do come in handy here. So talk with your insurance agent about how much you will need to actually insure. Sometimes it's from the drywall in, so you're paying for like cabinets and toilets and things that would be replaced if the whole thing burned down in a fire, in addition to your contents, your clothes, your computers, your jewelry, things that would be replaced in a fire that you might already be paying for when it comes to tenant or renter's insurance. Now, if you are a homeowner and you're not in a condo, you will be insuring the whole home, but take a look on your policy for what's important to you. It is not standard in this area to have earthquake insurance, and this is an earthquake prone area. Looking out the window right now at my parents' house, they have been there for 40 years. Their house was built in the 1970s. It's still standing after all of the earthquakes we've had. No major damage has ever been, happened, but presumably you can get a foundation crack. You could get some other, pipes to break in a big earthquake, which we do occasionally have, maybe once every 10 years. So you can decide if you want earthquake insurance on your house. Another thing to look into is whether you want flood insurance or landslide insurance. It's not typically included. But get those 4 things taken care of, PI, TI, and you will have a great sense of what your monthly mortgage payment will be and what you can afford. Working that backwards will tell you the price of the house you can afford. Now, when we're in a low interest rate period, we can afford a more expensive house. As interest rates climb, our monthly payment will go higher, and so we won't be able to buy as much of a house. So if you find yourself in a period where interest rates are going up, you might need to be a little bit more modest in the type of house that you're looking for. Also, bear in mind, as we have a very low inventory market, that the price you see advertised online may not be the price that the home ends up selling for. Many of our homes in Seattle are selling for 10 or 20% higher than the asking price. So, buyer beware, get with a good real estate agent, bing, to help you if you would like to put in an offer on a home or just find out what would be involved in actually getting something under contract. But the sad story is